Thanks, Raghav. Hello, everyone. I'm Jenni Lukander, President of Nokia Technologies. Today, I'm going to talk about how we deliver value from licensing our intellectual property. Over the next 20 minutes, I'll summarize our strategy and priorities, highlight our proven track record, and explain why I believe we are set up to continue to win. So what is Nokia Technologies? In a sentence, Nokia Technologies is a highly profitable and sustainable licensing business. Our purpose is to monetize and grow the value of Nokia's intellectual property and licensing revenue. We have three businesses: patent licensing, technology licensing, and brand licensing. Patent licensing forms the vast majority of our revenues. Here we license Nokia's innovations and contributions to industry standards to other companies so they can build on our innovations without having to make their own investments in R&D. In return, they pay royalty fees for the use of our technology, which we reinvest along with additional investment in developing the next generation of inventions. It's a virtuous circle, a wheel that has been turning for many years, powering innovation. In addition to patents, we also license our proprietary Ozo multimedia software, in particular our audio technologies, to companies like Asus, Axon, Oppo, OnePlus, and Panasonic to enhance the capabilities of their smartphones and cameras. And finally, we license the globally recognized Nokia brand to consumer device manufacturers around the world. We work with these brand partners to increase the reach and strength of the Nokia brand while helping them to increase their sales. We delivered a solid financial performance in 2020, finishing the year with a strong quarter. Full year sales were 1.4 billion euros, down 6% year on year because of a reduction in brand licensing revenue due to the impact of COVID-19 on the smartphone market and certain one-off items in 2019. But the patent licensing business model and our strategy proved to be resilient in adverse market conditions, and operating profit remained strong with an operating margin of 80%. Nokia is a technology leader and an innovation powerhouse. For more than 30 years, we have defined many of the fundamental technologies used in virtually all mobile devices and taken a leadership role in standard setting. As a result, we own a leading share of standard essential patents in every generation of cellular standards. Our world-class standardization experts are internationally renowned, holding more than 100 board member and other senior positions across all key standardization bodies, shaping the development of industry standards. We own one of the broadest and strongest patent portfolios in the mobile communications sector, with around 20,000 patent families and over 3,500 patent families declared as essential to 5G. When we talk about our portfolio, we talk about patent families. Each family is made up of one invention protected by multiple patents in different countries. Some companies prefer to talk about the number of individual patents, but we believe that patent families is a more meaningful measure as it accurately describes the number of actual inventions. Our portfolio has a long lifetime, with the vast majority of patents still in force in 10 years' time. This provides a long-term foundation for the business. And we continue to refresh the portfolio, investing over 4 billion euros in R&D last year and filing patent applications on more than 1,500 new inventions. Our aim is to maintain the high quality of the portfolio. We relinquish patents that no longer generate value and that way manage its cost. Several independent studies have confirmed the strength of our industry-leading portfolio. A study published by PA Consulting last year concluded that Nokia is number one for ownership of granted patents that they found essential to the 5G standard. A study published last month by IP Lytics ranked Nokia as number one for ownership of active and granted US and European patents declared as essential to 5G standards. What is significant about the PA Consulting study in particular is that they made their own independent technical analysis of declared standard essential patents, investigating whether the patents indeed are part of the standard. This is an important point because assessing the strength of a portfolio is much more than just a numbers game, as some patents are more relevant and valuable than others. So you need to look at the quality of the patents. And then sometimes you have to prove the value of your inventions in court, something that Nokia has successfully accomplished over many years. As a result, we have market acceptance. On the whole, companies recognize that they need to pay to use our inventions, and we have over 200 licensees across all our programs. Companies like Apple, Samsung, Audi, BMW, all paying royalties. In terms of revenue, we are number 2 in the licensing market, second only to Qualcomm, who have a different bundled business model with their chipset business. This is where we are today and where we intend to stay. In terms of what's actually in our portfolio of 20,000 patent families, our inventions fall into 4 categories: cellular standards, multimedia technologies, other device-related technologies, and network technologies. The technologies within these 4 categories include connectivity, user interface, antenna, security, artificial intelligence, machine learning, sensing and sensors, multimedia, and other emerging technologies. Around 20% of our patent portfolio are standard essential patents, inventions that have been contributed to industry standards like 5G and that have to be used in order for a device or service to comply with these standards. In practice, this means that any device that's connected to any cellular network automatically uses Nokia's intellectual property and requires a license and a royalty payment. While we have actively managed the size of our portfolio over the years to keep costs on a reasonable level, we have focused on growing the most valuable parts of the portfolio. For example, the size of our 2 to 5G cellular standard essential patent portfolio has tripled in size over the past 6 years, and it's no exaggeration to say that entire industries are powered by these inventions. Therefore, we have a strong foundation to continue our smartphone licensing, to broaden our consumer electronics and automotive licensing programs, and over time to tap into the opportunities that will arise from IoT. Our successful, well-established mobile devices licensing program is the core of our business and provides strong recurring revenue. We have high coverage with licensing agreements in place with most major smartphone vendors. There are still some untapped opportunities, and we are working on these. The global smartphone market declined both in terms of volume and value in 2020 due to COVID-related supply constraints and delayed launches of new devices. But despite these adverse market conditions, our smartphone licensing program proved to be resilient. Recurring revenue and profitability were stable and unimpacted by COVID-19 due to the structure of our licensing agreements. We renewed a major license agreement in Q3 last year in a way that demonstrates the strength of our 5G portfolio. Other deals are coming up for renewal over the next few years, and we are well placed thanks to the continued investment in our 5G portfolio. In addition to our leadership in cellular technologies, we also have a strong multimedia patent portfolio built on 30 years of investment in R&D. In particular, we excel in video standards, including video compression technology that enables large data files to be shared across the internet. Without this technology, you couldn't stream a high-definition video or hold a video conference meeting. The work of Nokia engineers in video research and standardization has been recognized with numerous international awards, including 4 technology and engineering Emmy awards. We have an established licensing program for consumer electronic devices that licenses these video standard technologies. While licensing maturity has been relatively low, it has been increasing and we see significant opportunities. For example, last week we announced a patent license agreement with Samsung, which covers the use of Nokia's video standard technologies. This deal is separate to our long-standing smartphone license agreement with Samsung. And other deals with other companies will follow. We are also on course for further growth with our automotive licensing program. The cellular technologies used by the automotive industry are the same as those used in smartphones and deliver significant benefits to drivers and car companies, including enhanced safety, information and entertainment features. Car companies charge their customers a premium for many of these services. The size of the addressable market will increase with over 50 million connected vehicles expected to be sold in 2023. Plus, 5G is likely to become mainstream in connected cars in the next 3 to 4 years, offering further opportunities. Licensing maturity has been relatively low but is increasing, as we have licensing agreements with automotive companies including BMW, Volkswagen and Volvo, and others are likely to follow. In fact, only last month we signed a new licensee through the Avanci patent pool program, of which we are a leading member. These agreements have been concluded on an amicable basis, confirming that our licensing offers have been viewed as fair and acceptable by the automotive industry. But litigation can be necessary in any patent business, and we have ongoing action against Daimler. We won landmark patent judgments in Germany last year, which confirmed the strength of our patents. These cases are currently under appeal, but our overall position in the dispute remains strong. IoT will also significantly expand our long-term addressable market in patent licensing from dozens of companies to hundreds of potential customers. The market is still in development mode with different connectivity technologies being tested, and so our licensing program is also in its early stages. Our current focus is in payment terminals, utility smart meters and vehicle telematics. There are many other long-term opportunities as everything becomes connected, but it will take time to unlock some of this potential. Patent licensing contributes the majority of our revenues, but we are much more than just a patent licensing business. We have a unique offering with a combination of patents, technology and brand that we can offer to our potential licensees. For example, many of our patent licensees also use our Ozo audio software to improve their products. We offer a number of features. Audio zoom is my favorite. It enables you to zoom audio when recording a video on your phone, just like you can zoom the image, and filter out unwanted surrounding noise. It's just one of the things in our toolbox that make us a more attractive partner. We are also a partner in innovation, whose world-leading experts can collaborate on R&D together with our licensees. Let me share a bit more detail on our smartphone agreements, which form the majority of our net sales. As I mentioned earlier, we have successfully generated recurring revenue streams from most major mobile device players. You can see from the chart how we have built this sustainable business over time. The duration of these agreements varies from 3 to 10 years. To put that in context, on a 5-year rolling average, around 15 to 20% of our top line each year represents existing large deals that are coming up for renewal. As you can see from the chart, this is a very much business as usual for us. We have a proven track record for continually renewing our agreements. For some agreements, we receive large prepayments in cash at the beginning of the contract term. We recognize these royalties, however, as net sales over the lifetime of the agreement. As a result, the annual free cash flow performance can differ significantly from our P&L performance, both up and down. Of course, the free cash flow performance matches the P&L performance over the life of each agreement. On the slide, we have provided the cash payments to revenue ratio for the past 7 years. You can see how the ratio has fluctuated, for example, from 3.5 in 2014, when some large prepayments took place, to 0.4 the following year in 2015. Moving on to our focus areas and expectations. Our strategy remains unchanged in the new Nokia operating model. The priority is on accelerating execution of the strategy. We have 4 areas of strategic focus. Firstly, driving continued innovation, securing monetizable IP assets, and renewing our patent portfolio for the long term with investments in 5G, 6G, multimedia R&D, and standardization. We do this in close collaboration with Nokia Bell Labs. The fact that Nokia was recently chosen to lead the European Commission's flagship 6G research initiative underlines our strength in this area. Secondly, continuing to renew major smartphone licensing deals and secure agreements with remaining uncontracted vendors. Thirdly, expand our coverage with growth in consumer electronics, automotive, and IoT and other emerging segments. Our new agreement with Samsung covering the use of Nokia's innovations in video standards highlights the potential here. And fourthly, build brand partnerships and grow brand value by developing new brand licensing opportunities, including smart home and other connected devices. In terms of guidance, we expect to deliver a comparable operating margin of more than 75% in 2021 and 2023. In addition, we continue to maintain our expectation to deliver a slight improvement in comparable operating profit in full year 2021 relative to full year 2020. Naturally, from year to year, there are ups and downs, but generally speaking, we are predicting stable performance over the long term. I'd like to finish by summarizing why I believe we are well positioned to continue to win. Firstly, we have a strong asset, an industry-leading portfolio which will remain strong as a result of continued investment in its renewal with investments in 5G, 6G, and in multimedia. Secondly, we have attractive growth opportunities from our leading 5G and multimedia patent portfolios from growth areas like consumer electronics, automotive, and in the longer term, IoT. This is underlined by the fact that the 5G cycle is in its early phase and it's expected to last longer than the 4G cycle. Thirdly, we have a proven track record in all major geographies. We have agreements with most major smartphone vendors and over 200 licenses across all our programs. And in cases where litigation has been necessary, our litigation track record is strong. And we have a world-class team, end-to-end. World-class research and standardization teams across Nokia, but especially in Bell Labs. A highly skilled patenting team in Nokia Technologies, along with the licensing, legal, and technical analysis teams that relate to it. So when you add all it together, we are and we will remain a highly profitable and sustainable licensing business that harnesses the value of Nokia's research and intellectual property and delivers that value to shareholders, industry partners, and the next generation of inventors. Thank you for listening. I am now going to pass back to Matt for the live Q&A. Matt, over to you.